So, one health metric which would you like to track?
Sleep, resting heart rate.
You go through user data each and every day. So, what is the most weirdest health problem you have discovered from any of your users' data?
Nobody is getting proper sleep. मुझे आपको एक एग्जांपल देना पड़ेगा कि वन ऑफ माय स्टार डेवलपर ओके वो बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्टिविटी दे रहा था बट सडनली हिज प्रोडक्टिविटी ड्रॉप ओके देन वी चेक दैट व्हाट हैपेंड विद हिम सो ही इज नॉट स्लीपिंग प्रॉपर्ली सो आई डिड वन ऑन वन कंसल्टेशन विद हिम व्हाट हैपेंड इज देयर एनी प्रॉब्लम सो अदर देन वर्क आई जस्ट आस्क हिम फैमिली में सब कुछ ठीक है तुम्हें कोई प्रॉब्लम है और कोई चीज़ है तो बताओ ओके देन ही ओपन अप विथ मी देन उसने बोला कि सर ये प्रॉब्लम है सो ये चीज़ हम आयरन फिट यू जो हमने उसको दिया है वो पहन के सोता है उसके हिसाब से जान सकते
And what is the most underrated health metric that people ignore?
स्लीप कंसिस्टेंसी
Heart rate variability.
Okay, so you mentioned a very powerful line that patients visit doctor only hardly 10 minutes per year for consultation, right? But our body speaks 24 hours a day. So how can a person manage those visits and how your band comes in this situation? So what is the actual game behind this? Okay, so who can use this kind of bands like the elder generation or the younger generation? Like what kind of people do they use?
Everyone.
One habit you wish everyone should start from tomorrow itself?
जस्ट डू 5 minutes वॉक
Tracking sleep.
Your doctor may see you for a few minutes in a consultation, but your body speaks all the day through stress, anxiety, routine, and activity. But the question is, are we listening? Are we telling the doctor the right context to act before? So, to gain such insights and more information regarding this, today we have not only one but two special guests. This is your host, Jaini Patel, and joining me is Mr. George Ferro. Please welcome to the show. So, George Ferro is the founder and CEO of Iron Group, who has built a healthcare company and is caring for almost 5 million lives across the country. And joining him is Mr. Rakesh Thakor, who is the co founder and the brain behind the team managing in India, who is helping to bring this vision into Indian healthcare and technology ecosystem. So please welcome Mr. George and Mr. Rakesh. George, let's move to the foundation of the company. Take us back to the beginning. From where did you got the idea and what pulled you to build the group Iron?
Um, Healthcare for me was personal before it became a business. I lost my sister to cancer in 2005. So even though we had access to the best doctors, the care still fragmented. So we had a lot of access and we have a lot of information that we got from the doctors, but it's still, they didn't see the complete context. They didn't see what was going on between the appointments. So it was 5 years of struggling with different information. So even top doctors, they have different information about treatment options and about outcomes, disease, and that was very a difficult experience for my sister that was suffering from cancer, but also for our family, as we didn't know what to expect and we got divergent opinions. Now, that said, another experience deeply impacted me. It was in 2012 when my son was born, and he had a birthmark, which was a hemangioma on his forehead. So there was a suspicion from his pediatrician that it could be a syndrome. So we took him to UCLA, University of Los Angeles, and there it was a totally different experience. I mean, he was seen by a round table of doctors, multiple doctors with multiple specialties, and they could see the complete context and they could discuss his case. So that experience itself deeply impacted me because I thought that everybody should have access to that type of care, meaning put the doctors together, put out the context and the history behind the patients, and let's discuss what are the best options and how we should approach the problem. So that's where I got the inspiration to found Iron and to start to bring with technology that kind of access to everyone.
So, just as you mentioned that doctors weren't the problem, but the system around it was a problem. What those familiar experiences taught you?
Basically, doctors are never the problem. I have a great respect for doctors because they usually are very experienced and have a lot of information, but they don't see the complete context. They don't know what the patient is doing. The system gets then very little time to actually interact with the patient. So they have 15, 30 minutes, even 1 hour appointments. But when the patient goes home, they don't know what's going on. So it is a fragmented care. So even though uh, they can ask for exams, they can do a lot of examinations during the consultation, and then they can do their work. They don't know what is going on when the patient leaves and when the patient was at home and what precedes the problem. So they are very focused on the problem itself that the patient brings to the consultation. So that's why I think the system needs more context. The system needs to get the history and the patient life as a whole to bring it to the doctor. And so it's not the doctor's fault that the system is like that, because if they have a consultation with a 15 minutes, in front of the patients, that's all they can get from the patient. So we need to give them, with technology, with products and systems, we need to give them better context about the patient.
So, Rakesh, you are a co founder and country manager in India for Iron FitU bands, right? Earlier आप है ना एप्स और सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट में थे, तो आपने हेल्थ केयर में क्यों स्टेप इन करा?
सी नाउडेज अगर आपने देखा है तो इंडिया में ई-कॉमर्स रिवॉल्यूशन है, कम्युनिकेशन रिवॉल्यूशन है, राइट? बट आई थॉट दैट देयर इज़ नथिंग हैपनिंग इन हेल्थ केयर रिवॉल्यूशन। ओके, आप देखते हैं कि कॉर्पोरेट एम्प्लॉइज़ आर स्ट्रेस्ड आउट, राइट? और बहुत सी जगह ऐसी है जहाँ वी कैन इम्प्रोवाइज़ द पब्लिक हेल्थ केयर एज़ वेल। सो दैट्स व्हाई आई थॉट दैट आयरन फिट यू कैन हेल्प टू betterment of the healthcare of the people, right? And इंडिया में यंगेस्ट पीपल नाउडेज बहुत टेक केयर करते हैं अपने हेल्थ का, राइट? सो देन आई थॉट दैट इंडिया कैन बी अ रिवोल्यूशनल हब फॉर द हेल्थ।
Some thinkers have made a different point of view. Like Vinod Khosla says that each and every patient receive different opinions when they reach out to different doctors. Whereas Atul Gawande has argued that medicine needs better systems, not just individual brilliancy. So, what do you say about this?
Actually, those guys were a great source of inspiration for me on the beginning of Iron. First, Vinod Kozla, who talks about a lot about technology and a lot about systems. So he had access to a lot of research on healthcare, and those are very interesting researches that talks about, human error and how patterns help to reduce the human errors. Atu Gawand, on the other hand, was also a great inspiration for me, especially on his book, The Checklist Manifesto, where he creates a checklist for surgery teams. And he uses it all over the globe, that checklist, and reduce a lot of surgery errors, improves outcomes, and improves a lot the efficiency of those surgeries. So basically, by a simple manifesto, like for instance in the aviation business, it doesn't mean, for instance, that pilots or doctors, they don't know what to do. It's just because our organized system with good patterns can also guide them through the basic stuff and totally have a positive impact on the outcome. So that's the inspiration that I got to actually create systems to impact positively healthcare.
So, what does Iron FitU bands stand at the highest level for you?
Continuous care. Basically, with the Iron FitU band, we are looking for all the behavioral data from the patients. And one of the most important things that when we bring that context to the doctor is that we generate engagement. we generate engagement from the patient with their own data, and we generate engagement from the doctors with that data. So by simply measuring basic data continuously, we change healthcare. Sometimes the same treatment that a lot of times might not be directly connected to that biological data, they have a totally different outcome when we are measuring that data. So that's what's very interesting about Iron FitU. It's actually to uh, gather data continuously and put that data in a way patients can see and doctors can see, so they can actually communicate with that data. So basically, in simple words, that's what Iron FitU does.
What is the real job behind the software which you created for the Iron FitU bands?
See, I'll fit you band the ऐप, राइट? ये सिर्फ मामूली ऐप या ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। In this app, we read the signals from the band, okay? We process it with AI and everything, and we convert those data signals into the valuable information, ताकि कोई भी जिसको टेक्नोलॉजी का भी पता नहीं है, who can understand the data properly.
Okay, so you mentioned a very powerful line that patients visit doctor only hardly 10 minutes per year for consultation, right? But our body speaks 24 hours a day. So how can a person manage those visits, and how your band comes in this situation? So what is the actual game behind this?
Well, definitely is the behavioral data that we get from the band. So, a lot of important physiological information like sleep patterns, uh, heart rate variability, heart rate averages, uh, resting heart rate, and other data that we collect from the band. It actually gives insights on how the body is responding to everyday life. So basically, from that, we can give more compass to the doctors. And using AI, we can actually connect that data to the treatment and to the data that is also available on the electronic health records. So on the disease itself, on the problem itself. So when we connect that data to the problem itself, we give the doctor context that is not seen on a 15-minute consultation with the patient. So that is very important also for him to catch how the patient is reacting to the treatment itself. So probably, for example, every treatment is going to have impacts on the users, might have impacts on the user's patterns like sleep, HRV. So the doctor can actually see how the user is responding to the treatment. So I think this is very important, and this is a game changer for healthcare.
Okay, so everybody around you is building applications and softwares, and you stepped into a healthcare industry. So why did you choose this specific industry? Even you could have built your own software company, right? So why did you step in into a healthcare industry?
Because I think we had to understand care, and getting from my personal experiences and the inspiration that I got to found Iron, I wanted to improve also the doctor patient interaction, the doctor patient relationship using technology. So I wanted to build the complete process and the complete journey. I didn't want just to build the software, not knowing if that would be used appropriately. So by actually becoming a healthcare firm, we can be involved on the whole process, and we can actually take care of the patients and be sure they have a positive outcome.
Many people have misconceptions in mind that can the actual data be very accurate, or is it not going to be shared anywhere else? So how do you solve these misconceptions?
Okay, right. Uh, what I would like to say that whatever the data coming from the band, we would like to admit that that is not accurate. I mean, that is not the medical grade device data, right? But let's say कि जितना डेटा हमें मिलता है डे टू डे जो प्रोसेस होता है, we run our algorithms on those data, and every person who wears the band, right, uska data every day, we learn that data, okay, and compared to the, and based on the users habits we gives the result. So yes, I would like to say that this is not a medical device, okay, but based on your sleep activity, HRV, RHR, RHR, sorry, okay, based on HRV, sleep data, we find the calculations how to represent the data to the user.
So basically, you solve the gap between the doctor and patients, right? So, what one message would you like to give to the doctors who are watching this show currently? And how would you tell that why doctors should use your product, that is Iron FitU bands?
Well, I think the most important message that doctors can gain from a wearable like that, it's actually understand how the body of the patient is responding to everyday life. That's the most important thing that we get from the band. So basically, we have biomarkers that are response markers like heart rate variability and resting heart rate, even sleep patterns. those respond those are responses to everything, being a treatment, being the beginning of a disease, being something about our outside environment, a stress at work, for instance. So being mental, being physical, the responses are there and our biomarkers are going to catch it. So that's valuable information for the doctor. I mean, when the doctors can see on their electronic health records that information, but not just seeing charts and a lot of data, but actually with the use of AI connecting that data to the patient reality and to the patient care in terms of exams, yeah, imaging, and all the treatments, medications. So we actually connect that physiological data to the other data from the EHR, and we give powerful information for the doctor. So it's a different context. So he can see the whole picture and he can take better care of the patients. Besides that, what I think it's very important, it's the band generates engagement. So even though someone is using the band, they're gonna be more engaged on the doctor's treatment itself because they can see the difference. They can see how their body is responding to the treatment. So they are more oriented and more engaging on their care.
So this becomes very easy for the doctors to, keep a eye on the or keep a track on the patient's health outcomes. Yes, right.
Exactly. It's very straightforward for the doctors to see exactly what is going on before the consultation. So when the patient comes with a complaint, the doctor can see the data and see exactly what patterns were changed and can get some insights from that. So if there was a change in the heart behavior, if there was a change in some sleep pattern, so the doctor can get some ideas also to ask the right questions to the patient and to ask for the right tests and to put all that together. So basically, we are giving more context. It's not that we are changing the way healthcare works. We are not changing treatments. We are not changing the way doctors work. We are just giving them valuable information so they can put it together with their regular care.
You go through user data each and every day. So, what is the most weirdest health problem you have discovered from any of your users' data?
Mostly sleep, okay. Uh, Nobody is getting proper sleep, okay. And what happened, that's a I run, I walk, okay. And when somebody start to running or walking, they blindly started running and walking, but not listening to their body, right? Let's say I started for the practice of the 10-kilometer marathon, okay. After 1 month, there is a marathon, okay. I want to learn, I want to make my body to run that marathon, okay. But what happened that every day start waking up and go for a run, it will not work. I have to look after my body whether I get a proper sleep or not. मुझे proper sleep मिली है, consistency है, then and then only app will ask that you can go for the training.
For someone who is hearing about the Iron FitU band for the very first time, then how would you explain about this band in very simplest terms?
Basically, the most important thing they need to know is the Iron FitU band can teach them how to listen to their body. So they can see how their body is responding to everyday life. So basically, they have patterns, they have sleep patterns, their heart has some behaviors, their resting heart rate, their heart rate variability. So those are important biomarkers that everybody has then. So basically, changes on those biomarkers mean something, mean something from the outside environment, mean something that might be happening with their body. So the most important thing is that they start learning about their body and they start also adjusting their behaviors to improve those metrics. And those metrics improve your longevity, improve your everyday life, improve your productivity. So basically, uh, people can actually become better versions of themselves when they actually can see what's going on with their biomarkers and they can act upon it.
Okay, so who can use this kind of bands? Like the elder generation or the younger generation? Like what kind of people do they use?
Everyone, as I said, I mean, the Iron FitU band is focused on every person because it's basically, it mimics the body response to everyday life. So no matter what is the purpose, if the purpose is to improve, then the band itself it's going to be very important. So being young people studying for a test on improving their studies, they need to sleep well. They need a heart rate variability to be high. They need their autonomic systems working perfectly because they have an important task to do. So they have to concentrate on getting those values right. And that changes with behavior. Those values get right with the behavior. Same thing for older people that are managing, for instance, a chronic disease. So how their body is responding to their behavior, how their body is responding to something about a medication, to something about the environment, maybe to something they are eating. So those responses can be manageable. They can actually understand how each behavior impacts those metrics and change those behaviors. So it's a learning process because you start looking at the numbers, you start understanding what's going on. Sleep is a very good example of this. A lot of people think they sleep well, but when they actually see the data, they see they are not sleeping very well. So it's actionable information that you can say, oh, this is how many hours I'm sleeping. This is how many hours I have of quality sleep, of deep sleep. So I can actually change that. So if I ate something and it impacted my deep sleep, maybe I should avoid that type of food. So those kind of things are the most valuable information that the Iron FitU band can give to users.
Let's say if my parents are staying in some other city and I want to monitor and see the trend of their health and using Iron FitU, how can I monitor their data?
ये बहुत ही अच्छा क्वेश्चन है। अभी आप देखोगे तो सभी बच्चे या जो है वो फॉर जॉब और वो अलग-अलग सिटीज़ में रह रहे हैं और उनके पेरेंट्स जो है वहाँ पे गाँव में या फिर दूसरे डिफरेंट सिटीज़ में रह रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो आयरन फिट यू बैंड इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग कम्स ओवर हियर कि मुझे मेरे पेरेंट्स या मेरे इवन लेट्स से कि मेरे बच्चों की भी हेल्थ जाननी है कि किस तरह से वो कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं, दे आर स्लीपिंग प्रॉपर्ली, वो अच्छी तरह से सो रहे हैं कि नहीं सो रहे, ठीक है? उनका हार्ट रेट कैसा आ रहा है, उनकी एचआरवी, आरएचआर किस तरह से आ रहा है। सो ये पैटर्न मुझे आयरन फिट यू बैंड से मिलता है, ठीक है? इवन मैं उनका लाइव हार्ट रेट भी इससे चेक कर सकता हूँ कि अभी क्या हो रहा है, ठीक है? सो आपको एक एग्ज़ाम्पल दूँ कि थोड़े दिन पहले मैं मेरे गाँव विज़िट किया था, तो मेरे पापा के साथ मैं डॉक्टर को विज़िट करने गया। तो उन्होंने देखा कि थोड़ा बहुत कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने बोला कि आपको रोज़ का 3 से 5 किलोमीटर चलना है, ठीक है? सो एट दैट टाइम व्हाट कम्स इन माय माइंड कि मैंने उनको आयरन फिट यू बैंड दिया, ठीक है? और उनको बोला कि आपको रोज़ ये पहन के चलना है, ये पहन के सोना है, ठीक है? तब जाके ये उनका स्लीप पैटर्न्स रिकॉर्ड करेगा, सब सिग्नल्स लेगा, वो कितने चले हैं वो मुझे पता चलेगा, ठीक है? और ये डेटा एवरीडे मैं चेक करूँगा। मैं एवरीडे उनको फ़ोन करके तो नहीं पूछूँगा कि आप चले कि नहीं चले, ठीक है? तो विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस मैं ये सब कुछ जान पाऊँगा। अलोंग विथ दैट लेट्स से मैंने बोला है मेरे बच्चों को कि आपको 2 से 4 सोना ही है। ठीक है, 2 घंटे बिकॉज़ वो जल्दी उठते हैं फॉर स्कूल्स। मैंने उनको बोला कि 2 से 4 सोना ही है, तो हाउ कैन आई नो दैट दे आर स्लीपिंग further they are playing games or watching the mobiles, right? So in that case, this Iron FitU band helps me a lot.
अगर मैं अभी अमेज़न ओपन करूँ तो मेरे को हज़ारों बैंड्स मिलेंगे लाइक स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 1000 टिल 50,000 फ्रॉम द एप्पल बैंड्स टू ऑरा टू वूप each and every brands. So why would someone choose Iron FitU band over some other brands?
ओके, मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि एप्पल या फिर गार्मिन या फिर हुब, ये बहुत ही अच्छे बैंड्स, ठीक है? But Iron FitU is the entire ecosystem. It is not the band only. Okay, Iron FitU is connected to the entire healthcare system. We gives the signals, data, converts those signals into actually the healthcare representable data, and those data sync to the doctor's dashboard as well. So even anytime you goes to the doctor who are using Iron Fit U and their dashboards, right, they can see that. So Iron Fit U is not just a user centric, it is entire healthcare ecosystem.
Since you mentioned that you measure a very important metrics that is HRV. So for someone who is watching this podcast for the very first time, how would you explain the term HRV?
Heart rate variability is something that is studied for more than 20 years, and there's a lot of evidence around it. So basically, it's uh, the difference between the time difference between heartbeats. So basically, we want the system to be flexible. So the more variable it is, the better. So that's something that is studied for more than 20 years, and it's linked to the main diseases. It's linked to the autonomic responses of the body. So the higher HRV, the better. And each user has their own patterns. So the idea is for each user to check their baseline, check their patterns, and then from there, improve the behaviors to increase the HRV. That's how they get better results on everything, being on well being, being on the treatment of a specific disease, for instance.
Everybody is very obsessed with counting steps. Even if I wear this band, I'll wear it for 1 week and then I'll put it in a drawer and I'll not wear it ever again. So, how would you keep your audience and the consumer engaged with using this product?
Well, engagement is something that we take very seriously, and we look at that in different ways. First is giving the user the right data, the right metrics. So, as I said before, the response metrics, we talk about heart rate variability, we talk about resting heart rate, and those are responses to everyday life. So, the user can actually, with the help of AI, see what's going on with those metrics and learn how they can impact those metrics and learn how their everyday life is actually impacting those metrics. So that's by itself, it's a big engagement, uh, and that's a big motivation, and it generates a lot of engagement. Secondly, we have a lot of gamification where the users can bring their families, their friends, their work friends, so they can all compete in friendly leagues. They can also have access gain points while they take care of their health. So our gamification process is also very strong. That's also another big drive of engagement. And lastly, of course, is the connection to the electronic health records and the healthcare professionals themselves, because we connect the user data and we put the orientation from the healthcare professionals, from their healthcare professionals, directly on the gamification process and on the app itself. So that's also a very big drive of engagement.
Most of the smartwatches give data, but not the real health transformation. So, how is your Iron FitU band different from the other smartwatches?
Yes, like you said before that you wear the band for few days and then put it in a drawer, right? So one thing is that engagement. Okay, अगर मुझे ऐप में डेटा मिल रहा है, मेरा बैंड हेल्थ ये स्मार्ट बैंड डिवाइस डेटा दे रहा है, बट इफ आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट, ओके, इन माय ऐप, that what is it is how it is useful, then and only then I cannot able to use it for a longer time if I don't understand it, right? But Iron FitU, every day when I open the app, right, I can see how many hours I slept, compared to my previous days or hours. Okay, every day in the night, it gives me the notification that I have to sleep by this time. Okay, I don't, it asks me don't scroll the reels. Okay, go to the bed and recover yourself, right? So that is the logic behind this. Okay, so we produce the data, read the signals, and like I said that, show in a proper way that anyone can understand it. And this data will be connected to the system, the entire healthcare ecosystem. So even let's say a person's a doctor can see that, they can advise when I visit to the doctor, right, for a consultation, they can advise me that you are not sleeping properly, what's the problem, right, like that.
So let's say if a gym trainer wants to know the data of their consumers, right? So how could Iron FitU bands help gym trainers?
So gym trainers के लिए we have developed iron performing system. Okay, and there is one is that iron insight. Okay, so this kind of the dashboards are there. So gym trainers, they can log into their dashboard, और उनको उनके ट्रेनर्स, उनके यूज़र्स, जो भी जो मेंबर्स हैं, उनका एवरीडे डेटा मिलता है। वो उन्होंने किस टाइप की इंटेंस एक्टिविटी की है। इवन हम लॉग कर सकते हैं कि मैंने जिम्नेशियम किया है, मैंने वेट लिफ्टिंग किया है, मैंने ट्रेडमिल किया है, वो सब कुछ हम इस एप्लीकेशन में लॉग कर सकते हैं, और उसके जो डेटा है उनके डैशबोर्ड पे दिखते हैं। सो आपको पता होगा, एवरीवन स्टार्ट अ जिम ऑन 1 जनवरी, ठीक है? 1 साल का पूरा सब्सक्रिप्शन भर देता है, और फिर देन विदिन 15 डेज़ वो बंद हो जाता है, राइट? तो हम जिम ट्रेनर्स जो है और जिम ओनर्स है, वो along with their gyms package, they become our partners, and they sell Iron Fit band to their members, and every day they coaches them. Okay, so this band is something like a coach. Okay, it is not a judge, it's not judging your data. Let's say तो आज मैं बहुत कम सोया हूँ, ठीक है? तो इट्स नॉट जजिंग मी, इट गिव्स मी इनसाइट, इट्स टेल मी, वो मुझे बोलता है कि आपको कल जल्दी सोना है, ज़्यादा सोना है। Then and then only I can recover my health, my body.
So, your brand basically is not a B2C, but it is also a B2B brand. Like you work with individuals to doctors to gym trainers as well. So, how do you feel like about your customers? What would you like to say to your customers?
Yes, एग्जैक्टली। सो वी हम जो डॉक्टर हैं उनके साथ पार्टनरशिप कर रहे हैं। अ, कई ने कब किसी ने मुझे सवाल पूछा था कि ये जो है, ये आने से डॉक्टर का जो इंटरेक्शन है वो ख़त्म हो जाएगा? मैंने बोला नहीं, इंटरेक्शन ख़त्म नहीं होएगा, इंटरेक्शन और भी बढ़ेगा, ठीक है? कि ये जो मुझे डेटा दे रहा है, ये जो मेरी है मेरी जो बॉडी की हैबिट्स है वो बता रहा है, तो डॉक्टर्स वो देख सकते हैं, उनके हिसाब से वो मुझे वार्न कर सकते हैं, वो मुझे ट्रीट कर सकते हैं। और अभी क्या है कि इंडिया में डॉक्टर्स हेवीली ओवरलोडेड है। 10-15 मिनट का कंसल्टेशन होता है, उसमें वो अपने हिसाब से कंसल्टेशन देते हैं। लेकिन अगर वो डॉक्टर्स जो डैशबोर्ड यूज़ करते हैं, वो पूरा एक क्लीन होता है, एकदम वेल ऑर्गेनाइज़ होता है, और रिलेटेड टू मी, ओके? तो मेरा पूरा डेटा उनके पास रहता है। तो अगर मैं उनके पास जाता हूँ और बोलता हूँ कि डॉक्टर साहब मुझे पिछले 2-3 दिन से ठीक नहीं लग रहा। तो वो मेरे 1 वीक की स्लीप पैटर्न देखेंगे, एचआरवी देखेंगे, आरएचआर देखेंगे, हार्ट रेट वेरिएबिलिटी अगर है तो वो सब कुछ देखेंगे। देन ओनली देन दे कैन कंसल्ट मी प्रॉपर्ली। So we think doctors are our partners. Okay. Along with that, like George said that we partner with the commercial, the corporates as well. Even in my company, I have given 70 bands to all my employees. Okay, and I can know that who is sleeping properly. See, मुझे आपको एक एग्जांपल देना पड़ेगा कि वन ऑफ माय स्टार डेवलपर, ओके, वो बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्टिविटी दे रहा था, ओके, बट सडनली हिज प्रोडक्टिविटी ड्रॉप, ओके, देन वी चेक दैट what happened with him, so he's not sleeping properly. So I did one on one consultation with him. What happened? Is there any problem? So other than work, I just ask him, फैमिली में सब कुछ ठीक है, तुम्हें कोई प्रॉब्लम है और कोई चीज़ है तो बताओ, ओके। देन ही ओपन अप विथ मी। देन उसने बोला कि सर ये प्रॉब्लम है। सो ये चीज़ हम आयरन फिट यू जो हमने उसको दिया है, वो पहन के सोता है, उसके हिसाब से जान सके। फिर वी फाउंड अ सॉल्यूशन। सो इट इज़ नॉट द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ हिज प्रोडक्टिविटी, इट इज़ हिज हेल्थ। सो दिस इज़ द यूज़ केस।
Since you mentioned that even a doctor can, use this device and track all the data of their patients. So how does a doctor gain the insights from your Iron FitU dashboard?
We have developed a very interesting system, which is a simple electronic health records, which with the use of artificial intelligence that we gather all that iron fit you band data and we put in a way the doctor can see in contest with his actually treating from the patient. So we cross that data with what is going on with the treatments itself. So with the patient might have imaging exams, blood tests, even questionnaires, and whatever is there that is in that is present on the electronic health records. The AI is gonna cross with the band and it's gonna give actionable insights to the doctor. So the doctor doesn't have to go over a lot of charts and a lot of data. He can actually see parts of the data that are meaningful for the treatment and for the patient.
तो लेट्स से अगर कोई डिप्रेशन, स्ट्रेस, एंग्जायटी से गुज़र रहा है, तो अगर वो आयरन फिट यू बैंड यूज़ करे, तो क्या वो भी मैट्रिक्स मेज़र हो सकता है?
सी ये जो है वो डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू दी स्लीप है, राइट? सो इफ यू आर नॉट टेकिंग स्लीप प्रॉपरली, ओके, एंड योर हार्ट रेट इज नॉट कमिंग आउट प्रॉपरली, even I can see that this data is not good for me. I can be motivated myself. Okay, what I have to do? So with the AI in this, with the help of data, signals, and the AI, app itself tells me just go for a walk. At least show up. Okay, go for let's say 1 kilometer walk. So it will be a start for me to reduce the stress, the everything is.
What is the simplest biggest difference between a medical band and a complete healthcare ecosystem?
Well, basically, most bands in the market they are user centered, so they are user oriented. Basically, they are giving information for the user itself. So, but the problem is that that data does not connect to the healthcare. I mean, most bands are trying to close that gap with AI, putting like AI insights or AI orientation. But that's not the same thing as having healthcare professional, nutritionists, psychologists, medical doctors actually acting upon the data. So that's the main difference. I mean, our device, our Iron FitU band, it actually connects that data to the humans, to the human healthcare professionals. So it makes everything different because that's how we are different from the market because the market puts the information there for the user.
Since you are also a first brand to work into B2B business, right? So apart from doctors and individuals, like what other users, which type of users or the buyers can use your product?
Well, basically, the use cases for our bands are for different types of situation. As I said before, for the user itself, it can be anyone, uh, any type of user from any age with any kind of purpose, being improving their well-being or treating a disease. And in terms of markets that we are going to explore in India. We are looking forward, especially for working with healthcare professionals. We have we are trying to work with corporations where they can actually give the band to their employees so the employees can improve their well-being, reduce absenteeism, improve productivity. We are working with government to reduce the burden of healthcare, to give access to people to healthcare, connecting the band with telemedicine. So governments are also a big part of our system. And lastly, for healthcare insurance, who actually has to take care of people, not just give them the insurance, but make sure they are getting good care. And to improve the network of those healthcare insurance, we are also giving access to the band and the doctors connected to it.
So how does this gamification work? Let's say if I'm bringing my family members, my colleagues, my friends to this. So how does this process work?
Basically, we have weekly leagues where you can create groups and being friends, family, and on those groups you have different metrics that you can compete. Level of effort, whoever's sleeping better, you gain points and you gain rewards and all that gamification, and you gain trophies and you keep record for that group itself. So it's very evolving because you can have different groups and you can have different friends and compete with them on the same time.
So basically, like we can see each other's data, right?
Exactly. Yes, with permission concerns and privacy concerns, basically you can choose what data to share and which groups you want to participate in. But yes, so basically you can see how your friends and how your family are doing and what they are doing on the week, the activities they are doing, how many points they are getting, how they are sleeping. So that kind of gamification that we have.
Why is India such an important market for Iron FitU bands?
Okay, so Indian youth is really likes the wearables, smart wearables, right? And Indian healthcare ecosystem is really booming nowadays. Everyone is taking care of their health. सबको एक कॉन्शियस है कि मुझे मेरी हेल्थ अच्छी करनी है। पहले क्या था कि कैरि हम कोर्सेज़ लेते थे कि हमारा करियर अच्छा बनाए, ठीक है? सेम वे अभी लोग कोर्सेज़ लेते हैं हेल्थ के रिलेटेड कि मैं अपनी हेल्थ कैसे अच्छी करूँ। सो नाउ इंडिया इज़ अ बूमिंग प्लेस टू प्लेस द हेल्थ केयर इकोसिस्टम एंड हम इंडिया में ये प्रोजेक्ट लाके पूरा हेल्थ केयर रिवॉल्यूशन लाना चाहते हैं।
Everybody is talking about AI nowadays. Just cut through the hype and tell that how does AI actually help Iron FitU users day by day?
So basically, AI removes the fragmentation of data. Basically, it gets different types of data and structures them. So right now, one of a big burden, for instance, in IT is the structured fields. Everybody was talking every kind of system needed structured field. AI removes that need because we can get any kind of data and turn it into actionable insights. So the powerful thing about AI is exactly to remove that fragmentation and connect data, link them together, and give in a way to doctors and users that they can actually act upon it.
So let's say if you're collecting this user data, are there any chances of data leakages?
No, the way you use it, we are very concerned about data structured GDPR guidelines and privacy guidelines, and we use biggest servers in the world, cloud computing, to protect our data. So basically, it's very hard known the probability or chance of any data leakage from our systems.
For the upcoming years in India, like how does success means to you?
फॉर सक्सेस से मेरा मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम 1000 10,000 मिलियन बैंड्स बेच दें, ठीक है? या फिर उतना डाउनलोड्स कर दें ऐप। सक्सेस का मतलब हमारा ये है कि आयरन फिट यू हर घर तक पहुँचे, इससे एक्चुअली लोगों को बेनिफिट हो, राइट? वो लोग समझे कि ये क्या है। ठीक है? एक बार मैं समझूँगा कि ये बैंड मेरे पापा के लिए क्या है। एक बार मैं समझूँगा या फिर आप समझोगे कि ये बैंड आपकी फैमिली के क्या लिए क्या है। जब वो पूरा इकोसिस्टम आएगा, हेल्पफुल होगा, देन एंड द ओनली ये डाउनलोड सेल्स ऑटोमैटिकली होंगे। सो हम डाउनलोड्स या सेल्स के पीछे नहीं है, पूरा हेल्थ केयर इकोसिस्टम हेल्थ के पीछे है और वन्स दैट कम्स इन पिक्चर, सेल्स ऑटोमैटिकली होगा।
The most important question, can Iron FitU band ever replace a doctor?
No, and that's not our intended use for the Iron FitU band. Uh, First thing is to say that Iron FitU band is not a medical device. And secondly, the powerful and the power of that came from the conjunction between the human interaction, the doctor interaction with the Iron FitU data. So basically, they are supposed to work together, not independent.
सो ये जो बैंड है आयरन फिट्यू बैंड वो जो डेटा कलेक्ट करता है ठीक है जो हार्ट रेट हो गया स्ट्रेस स्लीप एचआरवी ठीक है तो वो डेटा कैसे सेफ एंड सिक्योर रहता है सो हाउ वुड यू एक्सप्लेन दिस
सो इसमें क्या है कि एवरी पॉइंट ऑफ कलेक्शन ऑफ द डेटा एन्क्रिप्शन है वहाँ पे। हम बहुत ही अच्छे सर्वर्स यूज़ कर रहे हैं और एंड टू एंड एन्क्रिप्शन है। डेटा जो है वो ऑलवेज़ यूज़र की ओनरशिप रहती है। वी आर जस्ट कस्टोडियन, ओके? सो अगर हमें भी वो डेटा देखना है, डॉक्टर को भेजना है या फिर चेक करना है, वी हैव टू गिव द टेक द कंसेंट फ्रॉम द यूज़र। हमें यूज़र से उसका अप्रूवल चाहिए। सो दिस काइंड ऑफ द सिक्योरिटी इज़ देयर। सो हम ऐसे ही यूज़र का डेटा, फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल आप यूज़ कर रहे हैं बैंड, आपका डेटा ऐसे ही किसी डॉक्टर को नहीं दे पाएँगे। आपका डेटा ऐसे ही किसी जिम ओनर को नहीं दे पाएगा। अगर वो आपका डेटा, आप उसी जिम में जाते हो, आपका डेटा अगर उसको देखना है, तो वो आपको एक कंसेंट भेजेगा, वो ऐप में आएगा। आप अप्रूव करोगे तभी आपका डेटा वहाँ पे जाएगा। सो दैट वे वी आर मेंटेनिंग द डेटा सिक्योरिटी।
Can Iron FitU band detects the burnout before even the person understands it?
Yes, definitely. We have response biomarkers and iron FQ band, which are mainly heart rate variability, resting heart rate, sleep patterns, and those response markers, they are very sensitive. So any kind of stress, any repeated stress, prolonged stress, any kind of situation that changes the body patterns can be detected by the band even before it's becoming like a huge marker, like it appears on the blood itself or even generating symptoms.
Let's say if I had very less sleep last night and when I see at the numbers, so does this create a anxiety in my mind or it creates health awareness for myself?
ये जो है वो डेटा आप कैसे दिखाते हो उसके ऊपर है, ठीक है? काफ़ी सारे ऐप्स है, बता देते हैं कि आप आपके अच्छी स्लीप नहीं हुई है, ठीक है? आपका कार्डियोलॉजी या ठीक नहीं है, तो इस तरह से अगर हम डायरेक्टली रिप्रेज़ेंट कर देंगे, तो एंग्ज़ायटी आती ही आती है। लेकिन आयरन फिट यू में क्या है कि हम उस तरह से नहीं दिखाते, हम उनको स्टेप बाय स्टेप, और एक दिन ऐसा हो सकता है कि मुझे कुछ काम से है या फिर कोई भी स्ट्रेस है, तो मैं अच्छे से नहीं सोया, तो दूसरे दिन डेटा हम ऐसे दिखाते हैं कि आपकी लास्ट डे की स्लीप प्रॉपर नहीं हुई है, आपको इतना अचीव करना है। सो वी आर नॉट डायरेक्टली टेलिंग दैट यू आर अंडर अटैक और यू आर नॉट डूइंग गुड, राइट? हम क्या बोलते हैं कि आपको इतना इंप्रूव करना है नेक्स्ट डे। तो एवरी डे वी आर टेकिंग अ बेबी स्टेप, हाउ टू इम्प्रोवाइज योर बॉडी सिग्नल्स एंड हेल्थ। सो इन माई वे ये हेल्प करता है।
Let's play a quick rapid fire round. Okay. So, one health metric which would you like to track?
स्लीप,
Resting heart rate,
And what is the most underrated health metric that people ignore?
स्लीप कंसिस्टेंसी,
heart rate variability.
What is the biggest myth about fitness band and health which you came across?
वॉकिंग 10,000 स्टेप्स मेक्स मी हेल्दी,
I just need 4 hours of sleep a night.
And one habit you wish everyone should start from tomorrow itself.
जस्ट डू अ 5 मिनट्स वॉक।
Tracking sleep.
Today we learned that health isn't about treating disease anymore. It's about listening to our body signals that we hear every day. So big thank you to both of our guests who has made this podcast a successful one, and their journey about AI healthcare to build a complete healthcare ecosystem in India and the wearable devices is the most amazing thing. So thank you both of you for coming to our podcast.